This tape job is really used to, it helps to control both flexion and extension, but you can bias it one way or the other. So you can stop it from going into flexion more or extension more, depending on what side you put the X's. Okay? Now, the X's here just act like a fan. So if I were to put a fan on here, and then anchor, what motion would it stop? If I put a fan, an anchor here, fan on top, re-anchor, what motion will it stop? Reflection. Right? So I put something here, anchor, it's going to stop it from going that way. Right? So the X's, just think of the X's acting the same way as your fan. They stop, so if I have X's on the back, they're going to stop flexion. If I have X's on the other side, the palmar side, it's going to stop extension. So what we want to do is make sure we know which way we're going to stop. So on the exam, I'll say, okay, contact wrist, I want you to prevent more flexion than extension. So you'll have to bias your tape job that way. So what we do is always, just so you don't get confused, it's easiest just to memorize this, splay your hand, and what you do is you always start by bringing the tape, putting it on, and always going down. Okay, you always go down. And if I go down on this side, my X's will be on the back. If I start the tape here and go down on the back side, then my X's will be on the front side, or the palmar side. That make sense? Okay, so remember that. Start on this side, X's on this side. Start on the back, X's will be on the front. Okay? So, splay your hand. So you want them to make sure they're splayed. Now this is the one tape job where you can actually do it all in one if you want, if the hand can tolerate it. You don't go firmly around the wrist because your radial and ulnar arteries are there and they can get cut off pretty quickly and the hand will turn blue. So you want to make sure that you're not too tight around here and you don't have too much tape around there. So I just start, and if you thought the ankle tape job wrinkled a lot, just wait till you get to this one. This one will really frustrate you. So if I started on this side, where are my X's going to be? On the back. And what motion am I going to stop more?
There's flexion.
Flexion, good. So I come down, I angle it down. I'm going really lightly around there, maybe one more. And then I come up. Just make sure I get the right angle. There we go. So keep that splayed, hand splayed. Just keep that handshake position. Splayed extension. Now, the one thing that everybody in the last class forgot is, so I pinched there, and the reason I pinch is to make sure that the web space here doesn't get cut by the tape. So I make it a bit duller by pinching. And then when I pinch the other side, I'm just making sure this knuckle is reasonably free. So if he wants to fight, he can. Okay? So here, keep it splayed there. And the one thing you want to do with just the very first piece is you want to go around the hand once. So I come back around the hand, pinch, pinch, and there. Now I'm ready to start my tape job. So now I can go and do my X's. Well, my X's are going to be on the back. So I pull tightly down this part, and then I ease up as I'm going around the wrist. And up. Pinch, pinch. And then I come back down, keeping a little bit of extension. There. Now if I find I'm kind of getting perhaps a little bit too, my angle's off here and I can't get back up, then all you would do is just rip it off. If you want, you can keep going and going and going and put as many on. So when I get to here, I smooth everything out. Doesn't look too bad so far for wrinkles. Now all I'll do is I'll just test it. I'll see how much flexion have I blocked. So come on down. So still needs a bit of work, right? So we want to make sure we stop them at least kind of 30 degrees if possible, 30, 40 degrees. So what I'll do is I'll just put a stirrup on here. So my stirrups can just go different angles. So I'll go a little bit straighter on this one. I'll pull it really tight, keep that extension. And I might just go just a slightly different angle on that one. And then I'll check again. Go ahead, pull down. So that's blocking a bit better there. And then, again, keeping them in a reasonable amount of extension, I go at a slightly different angle. Pinch. Come around. And get the angle right. And I think I'll probably stop it there. So I'll loosen up around the artery. So you can see, I mean, I don't do a ton of wrist tape jobs just because I work with soccer a lot, but again, it's not, you always have to kind of readjust a little bit to make sure you're not getting too many big wrinkles in there, especially in the hand. You're going to get them when you pinch here, but again, pinch and don't let the line go all the way around. Okay, and there's the contact wrist tape job. Alright, so one thing to remember, guys, is make sure on the very first one, so if I start here, I come around, X's will be on the back, but before I start my X's, I have to go once around the wrist, and then I start doing the X's. Kind of like figure eights is really all the tape job is, but you just want to put one around the whole hand first, and go from there. Okay? Give that a try.